Thank you for joining us, everybody. We're going to get our show started in just a couple of seconds here. Want to remind everybody, if you could just share this broadcast, we would greatly appreciate it because it would help us get more views and make the show a lot more exciting for live interaction. So please, don't forget to share the broadcast. We also appreciate all of your likes and comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and get ready for Spit The Wit. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to this show that was entirely produced and developed by the people sitting in front of you. Jessy Meadows and Frankie Almost. Brought to you in part by Rolling Hills Productions. Live from Las Vegas, Nevada, this is Spit The Wit. Jessy, if you would be so kind, would you please tell us what today's show's about?
Good evening, everybody. We have a great show lined up for you, talking about, let me think about it for a minute. Let's see. Tachyons and subatomic particles and stuff like that.
And now, here is your host, Frankie Almost!
Oh man, oh man, oh man. So, okay, number one, as some of you might not have put together, we never talk about what Jess is actually saying right there when it says, will you please tell us what today's show is about? We typically make stuff up. You need to turn down that phone there, Tiny. Thank you. Tiny's my nickname for her, by the way, because she's very small. Those of you that have never heard me call her that, that's the reason why. The other thing that's hilarious to me about that intro is you never hear the ST in Almost. It just goes, Frankie Almost. It's just.
Really? I never noticed that.
Yeah, nobody does. Okay. So it's just one of those things. Plus, we probably need to fire that guy because his voice is very annoying, by the way.
I don't know. I kind of like it. I think it's
sexy. Well, you might be married to him. I don't know. So, happy, what is this today? Friday now?
Yes, it's Friday.
What is today's date?
The 3rd.
The 3rd of March. Okay.
When are the Ides of March?
I think the 15th, actually. That's why it's tax day or something.
Is it? Yeah,
I believe so, yeah. Ides of March, yeah.
Ides of March.
Right. What else we got going on this month? St. Patty's Day is coming up. Some stuff like that. There was something I wanted to talk about before we got into any of the stuff that we're talking about. Do you remember what that was? It wasn't the Ides of March thing. Why are we even here? Okay, so yes, I wanted to talk a little bit in the beginning of this show about Noreen's Lounge, which I've been doing for Thursday nights for karaoke here in Las Vegas on Trop and Harrison. I finally know the street, cross street. I had to think of Harrison Ford and do word association because I swear to God, it's such a subtle street that you can barely see. And everybody that is going there, this is my third, last night was my third night working there, and I've passed up the place every time. And I'm telling you, it's like an oasis in the desert as far as dive bar thingies go, because it's a great little old bar. And you would miss it if you blinked. You literally have to be looking for it. So she's never been there, so I'm basically telling her as I'm telling you guys. So I go to do karaoke there, brought some, not any of this equipment, but some other stuff that I have, my field equipment that I take to go, and set up there, and I freaking love the little bar, dude. I'm not even kidding. And it's too bad that I don't drink anymore, because if I did, I'd probably be there right now drinking, because it's got that kind of vibe where you just don't want to leave. It's just like double shots, I swear to God, dude. So we had not an empty seat in the entire house, which was really cool. And all familiar faces, and we had a great night, and I want to thank all of you guys for coming out, and we've been making this a steady thing, and I think it's going to work, and they're talking about doing it on the weekends, but we're not positive yet when the hell that's going to happen or whatever. So as soon as I know, I'll let you guys know. So that's for the locals. Now we get to the rest of the world. Anybody saying anything happening here?
Nope.
Nobody's saying anything to us. That's great.
I think I'm the only person watching right now, but that's okay.
Oh, are you? Interesting. Yeah. Well, at least you're watching because we have some great things to talk about.
Yes. I don't mind being the only viewer.
Right. One thing that we did want to talk about, we're not going to do it yet, but I'm re-gifting Jess a gift. But it's at her request. I'm not usually that tacky of a person to re-gift something, and especially not announce that I'm re-gifting. But she's been begging for it for a long time. So, 23 years ago, I was given this Playboy 40-year edition Playboy. And as you can see, it's sealed and has never been opened in 23 years. So we're going to open that up later on in the show.
Yay.
So, but we can't show the pictures because there's boobies and stuff in there. So maybe we'll do some kind of thing where we'll just show people's faces or something.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Because me and my mom were talking about this today. We were driving around and we were running errands and stuff like that. And as you know, she's 79 years old, and she was telling me that she couldn't believe how sloppy everybody is nowadays, because throughout the course of her life, she saw people get prettier and prettier to where it was almost like unattainable beauty. And she has now seen it go into the exact reverse, where the really pretty people aren't coveted anymore. They're shunned. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't agree with her more, and I think it's really freaking weird. And I think if you would have rewound me back to 23 years ago and told me that in 23 years everybody would be worshiping gelatinous beta males and gelatinous females that are twerking, and all, I would never have believed you.
I wouldn't either.
I would never have believed you. And what's weird about that, too, is Playboy, as she's telling me, because I haven't followed up on Playboy in a very long time, I grew out of that phase of my life where it was like, oh, my God, don't get me wrong, I still like looking at women, and they're still beautiful to me and everything. But I just grew out of the needing to see it on an everyday basis, like especially like the nudity and everything. So I'm to the age now where I find people more attractive in outfits than out of outfits. But so I heard she informed me that Playboy is not even the same format anymore. There's no more nudity.
No more nudity. They have different. They are looking for different qualifications for the playmates, if you can even call them that anymore. They are going for more of like a model look with smaller breasts and like a high fashion. They're trying to compete with Maxim.
Maxim, okay. It's really odd to me that you would change the formula after how many years. I don't even know how many years. I'm not going to claim to know, but I assume that Playboy started somewhere in the 50s when people started.
It's about like 63 years now.
Okay, and in 63 years they had a formula that was completely working. I mean, Hugh Hefner's got more money than freaking God kind of thing, and all of a sudden, it's almost like he's not running the company anymore or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, he's definitely getting up there. He's 90.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't stop yawning.
Okay.
Does that ever happen to you when, like, you can't stop yawning?
Absolutely. It means your brain needs oxygen is what that means.
I hate that. But,
And you, my dear, need a lot of oxygen. Just kidding. I am totally kidding. Hey, Jensino, thank you for sharing the show. I just saw that you shared the show. Thank you very much. You have always done that, and we appreciate it. What were you saying?
No, you're talking about Playboy, and I said I don't know that Hefner's necessarily... I mean, he's still the editor-in-chief, but I don't know how much... say he actually has.
If you were 90 years old, would you give a shit anymore?
No. He doesn't have to give a shit.
I wouldn't either, especially when I knew I had money. That your life expectancy, minimum is a day. Maximum, what, 20 years tops?
Yeah, if that. I
mean, some people do live to 110. Some people do. So, and especially if you're rich like that, he could possibly live to 110. Yeah. I've always thought my whole life that people could possibly live to like 200 years, or even like Methuselah kind of shit. Is Methuselah the guy that lived forever? Methuselah. Yeah, I'm so bad with biblical shit. So, but I thought that like people could possibly live that long, but they just gauge it on their peers, and they're expecting to die around 90 years old.
Right. It's all influence, and you being told that you're older, and you have cancer, and all of this stuff's in front of you all the time with how you oh, you're done at 40 kind of thing. Right,
all the horrible things that can happen to you, too, along the way, like getting hit by a bus and all that kind of crap. But yeah, so we don't know how long people can possibly live. We just know how long people are probable to live. Mm-hmm. And I think that's all surroundings.
Yeah.
And for all we know, there's a guy on an island somewhere that's 200 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's entirely possible that we could live to be 800 years.
Why don't you scoot in a little bit closer to the mic? I'll kind of cheat it towards you. Sorry about the noise, everybody. We're just trying to find... Well, see, obviously, my wife is freaking beautiful. She doesn't take compliments very well, but she's obviously very beautiful, and I don't want to cover her up. Me, not so much. I've got a lot of fat to hide and everything like that, so I'm trying to cover myself up. But when it comes to her, I want, we got Beauty and the Beast here kind of thing going on. Good cop, bad cop. And
You're so handsome, no.
No, I used to be, and like we talked about this on a show before, but it's funny because when we first started the show, remember I was on a hardcore diet, and I'm on the exact opposite diet right now. I'm actually trying to gain weight, and people are like, "What the hell?" Well, because I found out that everybody likes really heavy people, so I want. No, I'm just kidding. We're doing a movie that I have to be unattractively fat in. At least for the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be progressively losing weight during the movie. I don't want to give away what the movie's about, but basically, like, I see myself for the first time as I am, which is fat and disgusting. Mm-hmm. And I see myself in the mirror and I just freak out. I'm not going to say why and how the guy doesn't know that he was fat. Like, how could you have gone all your years without knowing? But we'll get to that at a different time once we start getting into filming, which is hopefully soon, because I'm sick of being fat and it's stifling and I'm choking on my own cellulite.
That's so cute.
You're so cute. Okay, so what else we got going on?
Okay, so I was just, because there's no guests, so we just think of stuff that we want to talk about.
We actually chose not to have a guest today.
Yeah.
We could have had Jeremy Flores, but we chose to do today alone because we don't want to get inundated with guests, and we just want there to be an even balance. We want there to be some of us, and then some of
and then other people. Yeah.
And when we first started the show, we were doing that 15 minutes thing, and that didn't work because that wasn't giving enough people to be on.
Right. Enough time.
Enough time to be on. So we need to have Sherry back on the show. So Sherry and Ed Mueller, whenever you see this, we want you back on for a full episode. And we don't know what the hell. We can come up with something crazy, I'm sure, for you guys to do. For those of you that don't know, they own a company called Art Party for You. I think they were actually our first episode. So if you Facebook or Google search episode 001 for Spit the Wit, you will see Sherry Mueller. Anyway, we want to have you guys back on the show because we didn't give you guys enough time.
Yeah.
And we were still developing the show. We didn't know what the hell it was going to be. And we like the format of just having people on the set, in the show, from the get-go, because we like to feed off of people, because we're like conversationalist vampires.
Mm-hmm. A little bit, yeah. A little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So we were going to have Jeremy Flores on today because he offered, but I told him we had already discussed that we wanted to do a show alone. So he's going to be on Friday the 10th. So
okay.
Look forward to that. For those of you that don't know, Jeremy Flores is a local comedian. He has performed all over the Strip and all over it's just everywhere that you can imagine in Vegas. And he was even on a billboard. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
You remember, when you're down by McCarran Airport by UNLV, by the Thomas and Mack Center?
Yeah.
There's a huge electronic billboard right there, and I was sitting at a light, and Jeremy Flores popped up. I was
really?
like, that's my boy, man. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, I was, unfortunately, getting your face on a billboard doesn't pay the bills, but it's still an accomplishment.
Cool.
Yeah, it's still something that I'm sure, I hope he has a picture of it somewhere. So, but yeah, we're going to bring Jeremy Flores in here to do that. Roxanne, hey, honey, let's go. When did that come in? Did you not see that comment?
No.
You're getting delayed weird things. See, we have a comment box. Facebook still needs to work on this problem, and I don't want to always blame shift because we do mess up on our own. Like, you'll see me banging my microphones and stuff like that, and there's just been technical glitches here and there that are actually my fault. But there's major glitches that are happening with Facebook, and I hope they polish this Facebook Live thing out, which I'm sure they will eventually because there will be a demand for it. But a lot of times we'll be broadcasting and we won't get any conversation, and we'll later on look at the broadcast and see there were like not hundreds but tens of comments that we never saw.
Yep.
And it's frustrating because we're trying to do this thing that's like a public thing.
Yeah.
So as they're
Trying
working
to
out the
interact.
kinks, we're working out the kinks, and we appreciate everybody for constantly staying on board with us. Also, wanted to mention, since we're on that topic, we have a GoFundMe account for our show because we want to get better cameras. We have 3 webcams in here, and the one that we're on right now is actually our best one. And as you can tell, whenever I switch to other cameras, they're just kind of not really there. So we want to get 2 of the exact same camera that we're using right now. And then there's various cords and things like that. Like one of our guest cords has a short in it and all this kind of crap. So we have a GoFundMe set up for Spit The Wit. And there actually was a donation from Amanda, and I don't want to. She goes by Amanda Lynn now, but I know her as. Can I say her name? I don't know. Amanda Nelson. Thank you so very much.
Thank you
for donating
awesome.
to us. We really appreciate it, and we will put your money to good use because, as I said, we have shorted out cords and stuff. So, what's up? Did you want to say anything on that topic?
No.
No,
not really.
So it's good when I try to pass you the torch, baby, and you're just like, no. It makes everything so smooth.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So,
What?
when did you want to talk about the zombie?
Oh
thing?
my God, dude. Okay. I guess now, since you brought it up. Okay, so I don't know if any of you guys have seen this, and I seriously just stumbled upon this just before the show. I was going to make it to where we can play clips. We have to be really careful about the clips that we play because there's copyrighted material out there, and Facebook will just completely, boom, just take our broadcast right off the air. Mm-hmm. So we have to be careful in doing so. But there are ways around things, and I just didn't have the time, unfortunately, to make this viewable. It goes by percentages and screen percentage size and flipping images around and stuff like that. You can actually show stuff. And then audio sometimes is copywritten when images aren't, and vice versa. It's a tangled mess. Yeah. So for those of you that are like, oh, your show would be so much better if you would just play a segment of music. We can't do that, and we don't want to smother you with our copyrighted material that we create.
Hi, Mike Owens.
Mike Owens, how you doing, sir? So what we were just talking about was right before the show, I was watching some informational channel on Facebook, and it was one of these channels that has basically informative information that's deep secret stuff, like governmental and stuff like that, which, we don't want to get into that too much. But there was this freaking footage. Have you guys seen this where there's a zombie dude that breaks into, well, it doesn't, I don't want to say breaks into, it's over dramatizing, but he comes into a hospital and he's walking completely bent back and contorted with his arms hanging at his side.
Shot
and
in the face.
He's got a freaking bullet hole in the side of his face, half his cheek is gone. His teeth are bloody, and he's got these cornrows, and he's freaking demonic looking, and he's just speaking in Brazilian. Do they speak Brazilian or is it Spanish?
Portuguese.
Portuguese. That's what it is. Okay. So he's speaking Portuguese. He's speaking Portuguese, and he freaking, they call him the zombie man, but I'm telling you right now, this looks like demonic possession to me. It is amazingly crazy. Before you interject and start talking about it, hold your thought. If you want to see it, just type zombie man in Brazil, and you'll come up with the guy. Like I said, he's got cornrows and a bullet hole in his face. You can't miss it. What were you going to say about the zombie guy?
Eric said that, he saw that.
Oh, Eric Maldonado, yes. I don't know if that was basic mental illness, bro. Okay,
no.
Here's the thing. I would like to rule out things, and it would have been a lot more concrete evidence. And I'm not one to really believe in demonic stuff or life after death or anything. I'm more of a scientific thinker. She leans more towards, there was a noise in the other room. Obviously, it was a ghost.
I do not. I will go investigate it. But you jump towards ghost way quicker than I do. I'm just no. Well, more recently we've had some definitely weird shit going on. But okay, so what would have been a dead giveaway to me is if he would have been contorted backwards to the degree where it was physically impossible. Yeah.
And when you see the way this guy is contorted backwards, this is his spine, okay? He's contorted like that, which is, it's very physically possible, but it's also borderline cusp of not being possible.
Yep.
He's like teetering right there.
It would be very hard to do.
Yeah.
And
especially shot in the face. I mean, that's why I think more demonic possession. Because if you're shot in the face and you're going to take the time to be like, here's how I balance myself this way.
And it's in his eyes. I mean, a lot of people have said that this is a result of flakka.
Flakka or bath salts and shit like that.
And I believe
yeah.
that. I believe that those are big open doorways. But,
right.
I don't know. Like, this was... When he first showed me the video, I thought it was some guy pranking a hospital. I thought he got made up and was acting like a zombie to go freak people in a hospital out.
Yeah.
And then when I saw the man's eyes, I was like, oh my God, that's real.
Yeah,
like,
and the other thing was, like, everybody's calling him the zombie man because he does in ways look like one of the zombies from like the shoot up games, like, you know, what the hell is it, Black Ops and shit like that. But here's the thing, he was speaking Portuguese, which I do not understand, but you could definitely make out that he was saying that he something to do with Lucifer because he used the word Lucifer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it was just freaky, dude. And if you've never seen it, you need to go check it out. Zombie Man in Brazil.
Yeah, supposedly there have been other cases of this in Brazil. There was somebody also in Florida.
Yeah.
They're saying it's flakka. They're saying it's an actual zombie virus. They're saying all kinds of stuff. But a lot of people also believe that it's possession.
Yeah. Like I seen this one Flocka video from a few years ago where a guy was like sitting on the floor on the ground outside and he was scooting around on his butt like really slowly like this, like kind of like reverse frog, and he was coming at a cop, and that was definitely freaky, but you could tell that was drugs. Like you could see that was drugs. And this one, I don't know, man. This guy just it got me thinking, if there was ever anybody saying that there was demonic possession,
yeah,
that would be the video that would convince me.
Yeah,
like more than the bullshit levitating thing from the 70s where it looked like a girl was jumping from one bed to the other and they took a picture and said, hey, this chick's levitating. Like,
no,
I don't buy the grainy video crap. That's another thing. Whenever there's UFOs and ghosts and all that crap,
it's always grainy. This is 2017
because it's easier to hide stuff and to make stuff look real whenever it's a grainy video. Plus, it adds that spooky element to it.
By the way, hello, Red.
Hello,
McLean.
Red McLean. How are you, sir? One day we gotta have Red in the show. He's an interesting character.
Yeah.
Needs to be seen. Plus, he's got something to plug. He has a karaoke night that he does. I don't know what nights they are, but you're more than welcome to post that in the room, Red. But that's at E-String on the corner of Sunset and Sunset. And people are like, Sunset and Sunset? There's a weird street area here in Vegas where Sunset Road, like, literally merges into Sunset Road going down a hill. Because that sunset on the other side becomes Mountain Vista. I don't know. Very weird. But at almost the base of the hill, there's a bar that's pretty well known called E-String, and Red is a karaoke host there some nights. I'm not sure what nights those are. Because we have not been supportive friends because we don't drink and stuff. So
yeah, we don't do anything except sleep and
eat. Well, I eat for you. You smell my food and you're like, that smells delicious, and then I eat it. And she's like, oh my God, that looked like that was so enjoyable.
Oh, Red says that he's down, by the way, to be like on the show. So.
We definitely need to have him on the show. But I'm still working on learning that dance for you, Red, that you want to see on Thursday. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Really complicated stuff. I don't know if I can handle that.
That was good.
But, okay, so any more on the zombie dude that you wanted to talk about?
Well, when I looked it up, it said that this was one of several incidents in Brazil. And then if you look up Zombie Man, you're going to see a bunch of stuff come up.
Yeah.
And people don't know what this is. Like, if it's, the elite trying to kill everybody off or what's going on. So,
here's the thing. I don't know if the elite necessarily has to try to kill us off. People are pretty insane and pretty self-destructive on their own. I don't think they need the elite's help.
Yeah.
I mean, I seriously don't. Like, one thing I will say is Brazil's kind of kooky. I've never actually been there myself, and I'm not trying to talk crap about anybody from Brazil. But isn't it kind of like borderline Haitian kind of thing, where there's like voodoo-y kind of things going on there?
Yeah.
Because whenever you look at like stuff from Carnival, it's like there's some definite things that are like, this is kind of voodoo wicked.
Like Mardi Gras, like it's along the New Orleans
kind Creole, just, I'm put a Creole spell on you. Kind of shit.
Yeah. I had, like, there were a couple girls that I used to work with that were from Brazil. And,
Yeah.
yeah, they were really nice and everything, but they would talk about the, the plastic surgery, how many men have plastic surgery as much as women do there. And, it is dangerous, and it is a third world country. It's.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know much about Brazil, unfortunately. That, there's Brazil, like, just what I've seen in Hollywood and stuff, which is completely like, somebody depicted it the way that they wanted to. And I'm sure it's nothing like actual Brazil, because there have been many places that I've been to that portrayed on television or on the news completely different than what it actually is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people too, obviously. They do that to people too.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of shook me up a little bit seeing that video, actually.
Yeah, it definitely, it's one of those things, like, have you ever watched a movie and you just feel weird a couple of either hours or days after you watch it because it feels like the resin of the movie is on you? Yes.
And that's part of why I'll watch the same thing over and over, because I don't know if I'm going to feel weird after I see something. So, yeah, it was pretty weird.
Yeah. Eric said...
He has a book called Paranormal, it's about paranormal and demon possession. Behind the Paranormal by Eno, and I said I want to borrow that.
Oh, okay.
You know how I am with that.
Right.
He says he'll let me borrow it. It says he's actually absolutely right. Demons do feed on you. I have to interject something here.
Go.
Okay. I've had to deal with a lot of very strange things in my life, and a lot of it dark.
Sorry, I thought you were talking about me.
No.
Okay.
Dark. I've had problems with memory. I've had problems with all kinds of dark energy. And I was raised Christian, and I always thought, why do demons want people's souls? Just to take them to hell? Just to tell Satan that they have more than the other one? That doesn't make any sense. Like, what is the real reason behind demonic possession and all of these things? And it's because you are food to them. These are just as real as wolves in a forest.
So souls would be the equivalent of blood in the afterworld.
Yes.
Okay.
And to ignore demonic possession gives them the upper hand.
Okay.
So
to pretend that it doesn't exist is kind of like turning a blind eye and walking through the forest into a pack of wolves kind of thing is what you're saying?
Yes. And I think it's very foolish to ignore it and to just say, oh, this is schizophrenia, or this is, just mental illness, when it's not. Mental illness works differently because I have my experiences with mental illness. Mm-hmm. And mental illness can be like a weakness. Mental illness can be like a deer with a broken leg. Okay?
Right.
And it lets things in, and you're more vulnerable to them.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. You make a valid point that people... if you're walking blindly into the forest, that you're probably going to get eaten alive by some kind of creature. However, then that negates, like, the thought pattern of, like, The Secret. Because if you're... And millennials are going to agree with me on this. Because if you think everything's all butterflies and candy, then you're, in turn, shaping the universe into being this big... producer of butterflies and candy.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that the Bible, if you really read it without somebody telling you how to read it, it alludes to things like The Secret. It alludes to just don't respond to anything negative. Don't respond to it, and you're not going to get more of it.
That's been working for me a lot more since I started practicing that. Like, I used to have people that always were causing conflict in my life. Some were family members, and others were just acquaintances and stuff like that. I eventually, through her talking me into trying it out, started, I don't want to say being Jesus-like, but it's what people refer to as Jesus-like, in the fact of turning the other cheek. And I don't mean like somebody could just like punch me in the face or kick me in the nuts and I would just be like, bless you, my child, or something like that. I just refused to tangle. And so I just went the other way. And lo and behold, there goes my stupid saying, I found out that I'm going to sleep at night with a smile on my face. Yeah. Like, we've cut a lot of evil out of our life in the past few months.
Yeah, and you choose not to. I just started, I don't know, I have like these weird things that happen where I just sort of like realize something. And I realized that it's, a big part of the secret is not just wishing and hoping. Those aren't what you want to do. The reason why bad things tend to happen to you, or it's that one thing that you were like, oh no, I don't want this to happen, is because we expect negative.
Right. Plus, it's getting a reaction out of you.
Right. Yeah. And you are more apt to respond to the negative. And what you respond to is what the universe is going to give you more of. So expect good things. Have faith, true faith, because hoping and wishing isn't enough. You need to actually just sit back and expect it. And that doesn't mean like sit back and do nothing. It means whatever you do, go about doing it knowing that you are going to get further, knowing that you're going to get where you want. And visualization helps too.
Yeah. Absolutely. That brings me to a point that I wanted to bring up with her and I, and that is when her and I first met. I'm a little bit older than her by like 100 years, and I told her I about, I don't know, 12 years before I met you, I stopped watching horror flicks, and I love them. Don't get me wrong, because I love like the Haunted Mansion, and I like the gore, and I like the art that goes into the blood and squibs and all the things, and latex and foam latex and everything. And I've always had a fascination for that. I mean, probably instilled in me by Michael Jackson's Thriller, because he was such a soft creature, and yet he did something as demonically awesome as Thriller. I mean, that was a great freaking video.
Oh, it scared the heck out of me when I was little.
But you have to, you have to admit that, there's creativity there, and it's a great thing, but at the same time, it's scary. So he kind of like led me down that pathway where I was into some gory shit. I never really got into like the Faces of Death kind of thing. That always like made me feel awful. So I just
I can't watch.
And so anyway, when I met her, I had stopped watching horror films altogether. Like seriously, like if there was anything demonic or spiritual or ghost or bullshit like that, I would just be like, I don't want to watch this. And I've been a much happier person since I cut it out of my life. And she's always been into it. She's been like, can we watch this? Can we watch that? And I'm like, she literally had to negotiate with me. She's like, it's my birthday. We have to watch 3 horror films.
Mm-hmm. And then I didn't even get through the first one. It was The Conjuring 2, and I just started to feel really weird and creeped out.
So I think, I guess the question that I wanted to ask you, Jess, is since you've been together with me and I pointed this out, and you haven't been able to watch as much horror movies because I won't let you. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, I actually haven't wanted to.
Does it feel better, though, in your life without that shit in your life?
Yeah. And I was raised on horror movies, so they're kind of like homey to me because for some reason in a family that has all kinds of weird paranormal stuff happening, we have to watch horror movies, but whatever.
Right.
I associate that with growing up with watching movies, paranormal stuff with my mom. She was always watching like Ghost Hunters and stuff like that.
Right.
So
and I get it, dude. I get the fact that it's exciting. It's like I want to eat my popcorn, and watch the horror movie. And here comes the thing, and it's a thriller and all that crap. But I've noticed that since I cut it out of my life because it was making me feel weird. It was making me walk down the hallway of my own house and expect a creature around the corner. And my whole method of thinking is that one day, unfortunately, every single person in this conversation will die. One day. Yep. What are the images that you want to be holding in your head when that happens? Because none of us know when it's coming. The freaking lights could fall down on my head right now and kill me. And I would rather, I just watched that demonic thing of the guy in the hospital. I would rather not have those images in my head because I don't know necessarily if I'm going anywhere after I'm dead. So what if I'm assuming that I'm going to hell because of the images that I'm seeing? Kind of like when you have a bad dream.
You can, and it's funny because we just found a YouTuber that we're not going to go too into just yet, but she's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And she did mention that heaven and hell are here. They are a mindset, and anybody that's experienced problems with mental illness or maybe done some bad drugs, you know that hell and heaven are they're here.
Right.
They're the mind state that you're in, and you don't want to be in a negative, ugly mind state when you die. We don't know what happened.
And trust me, we're not preaching to you. We're not telling you what to do with your life, and we're not going to be like, so donate to our church or some crap like that.
No.
We're just telling you like our beliefs and our philosophy on things. I wanted to say hi to Jordan because I saw that he had said hello a while ago, and then Eric reminded me of something. So I guess I'm going to try to make the story fast. But I did want to tell the story because it's really creepy how it went down. So I was living in my apartment alone, and again, I didn't watch horror films or anything like that, but I got gravely ill where I had like a fever and I was delirious and delusional, and I was sleeping on my couch. And as I was sleeping on my couch, this was back in 2011, I think, 2011 or 2012. And I was laying on my couch and I was just like catatonic, basically. I was lucid. I was half sleeping and half awake. And all of a sudden I just saw this really tall, skinny creature in the corner of the room with like a big just picture like a Jack Skellington kind of guy. And he started spinning around the room like the Tasmanian Devil in the old Bugs Bunny cartoons, spinning around in this tornado, and he was bouncing off the furniture and the walls and shit, and it was like bing bong bong, like, and then he stopped right over my face as I was laying there catatonic and was all blah, 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 and then he freaking spun off, and then I freaking snapped out. I was so freaking enraptured by this thing that I couldn't look away, and I couldn't freak out about it. It was just like it was happening and there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
So after it disappeared, it wasn't until I fell asleep and woke back up and was like, what the hell was that all about? So I called my friend Joey Murray, who lived in Montana, and was talking to him, and I was telling him all about this stuff, and it just, the phone went silent, and I'm like, are you still there? And he's all, dude, do you have a computer in front of you? I said, yeah, my laptop's in front of me because it's always in front of me. And he goes, Google Slender Man. And this is before the video game. This is before he became this freaking well-known thing. And I typed in Slender Man, and the only thing different about the depiction of him online is that the thing that freaking spun around and got in my face had a face, at least temporarily.
Yeah, when you told me about that, I was like,
and it a cold chill went down my body. And yeah. I wasn't right for another year after that. It wasn't until you came and moved in with me that you found out that I was on the way out with celiac disease.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And she was like, I know exactly what this is, and this is how you need to fix it. I couldn't hold my breath for longer than 10 minutes. And I was a non-smoker at the time, which I am still, but so it wasn't like smoking was causing me. I was unable to hold my breath for longer than 10 seconds.
Yeah, well, it was the pernicious anemia that was really going to get you.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Which is a result of celiac, for those of you that don't know. So anyway, we can't confirm nor deny and all that kind of stuff, you know. Yes.
Eric said that your sink was haunted.
My sink was haunted in what aspect, Eric?
I don't know.
This I gotta hear. I wish we had you in the studio because Eric's vernacular is very strong and he's interesting to listen to, and he can tell a story really well. Yeah.
I'm waiting to hear about that. And then
yeah.
Roxanne said that she's cautious and open-minded, and I said, it's better to be careful, people that go poking around with Ouija boards and things like that.
Yeah.
But don't be afraid either.
Right.
Like, I think a lot of people who are raised in a Catholic or Christian household are taught too much shame and guilt and fear, and that leaves them vulnerable. So, yeah, you just...
Red caught me on a mistake that I made because I said I couldn't hold my breath for 10 minutes, and I meant seconds. Thanks for correcting me in that manner, you SOB.
I didn't catch that either. You said 10
No,
minutes?
I said 10 minutes, yeah. I couldn't even hold my breath for 10 minutes.
That would be awesome if you could normally.
And normally I can leap over buildings in a single bound. Oh, man. So, as we said, we got about 20 minutes left in the show here. We are going to be unveiling this, well, at least, I wanted it to be documented for those of you that missed it. This is a 23-year-old Playboy that was gifted to me, and I am re-gifting it to Jess because she was part of Playboy in ways. She never was a playmate, but she did do her centerfold and then decided later on that she didn't want to
Yeah, I
be
chickened
involved.
out and freaked out because
Yeah.
I have a tendency to do that when I'm under pressure, I'll get something, and it always hindered me when I would perform and things like that because I would freak.
Well, you did the same thing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I freak out, and that's what happened with Playboy was, yeah, I mean, I had a shoot scheduled and everything, and I just freaked out.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so she's tied to the Playboy empire in ways, and a bunch of her friends are Playmates and stuff like that. So I'm regifting this to her, and it has never been opened in 23 years. It is still factory sealed. I've never seen the inside, but it's from 1994, and it's the 40-year edition Playboy. And I'm sure there's going to be, because I was alive in 94 and having sex with women, so I'm sure there's going to be some serious wool in there. Do you know what I mean by that? Chicks didn't shave then.
Oh,
landing
yeah.
strips were in style. Some chicks still had bushes, but most chicks had landing strips.
Yep.
Yeah.
Landing strips were bigger in the 90s, though.
That's 94, pal.
But this is like back the 50s.
No. What you're wrong. It's gonna take you through the history. Oh my God, you're opening it now. She's opening it now. You're supposed to do this on camera, so
I thought it was on
that the
camera.
cracking could be seen. So now she's tearing the plastic off. These things aren't worth that much because apparently they were overproduced, and I think like originally the girl that gave it to me paid like freaking $50 or $60 for it, and I think they're on sale for eBay in the sealed package for like $20. So
Okay.
I figured I would give my wife joy more than try to hold on to something and be like, this is a relic and it's going to be worth $7 million in the future.
Yeah, it's going to show, like, I don't know how to...
There's too much vagina and stuff in
Yeah.
there, right?
But it's got, like, Betty Page. It's got all of the Playmates, because I really am fascinated with Playboy in, like, the 70s and stuff.
And unfortunately, it does have a couple of dents in it because of the years that have been weathered and stuff, even in the plastic. But yeah, you know what's funny though?
My friends were actually in the 50-year one.
In the 50-year
Yeah.
one, yeah, because they weren't old enough to be in this.
I bet Shauna's in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was Playmate in 94.
Uh-huh.
But I don't know what to show because I don't want to get
Right.
pulled off Facebook because we're looking at Playmates.
I'm friends with a couple of Playmates on Facebook, actually. I don't know if they ever come and watch my show, but there's a few Playmates that are from the 80s and 90s that are in my friends list. And I wonder if they're in there. Red said that he wanted to be hooked up with Jess's friends.
Yeah, I saw that, and I get that so much. It got annoying. They're like, "Oh, can you, what?
Right.
Not you and your friends." And I don't really want to mention their names, but I lived with one of them.
Here's the
And
thing
she
I
was,
would
like,
say
my
to
best
Red,
friend.
though. Red, no offense, I love you, but you don't like the skinny Playboy type of chicks, dude. That's not your type of chick at all. You're a millennial, man. You're into the big booty twerking hoes kind of thing. Not that all your girlfriends have been hoes or anything. I'm not saying that, but I've worked in a bar with you, and you're like, "Damn, look at that," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, and I'm not interested in that."
Yeah.
And Red's over there going, "Shit, man, I gotta go buy her a drink. Can you loan me $20? Let me buy her a drink." That kind of shit. And I'm like, Red, her friends are like, they look like her. They're like tiny little things.
Yeah, they're very small.
Yeah. Although I will say Red, okay, there was a couple of times that I remember Red losing his mind along with me over some tiny chick that came into a bar. A couple of tiny chicks that came into the bar that were like these scrawny little girls.
Really?
Yeah. And Red was like, "Okay, you're right. That one's good." That kind of thing. But that was going off the norm of what he liked, though.
Yeah, I mean, most people, it seems like they like, the politically correct type thing going on right now. I don't know. I just know that I like the way the Playmates look, like the old Playboy Playmates.
Right. Well, they're not even nude anymore.
No.
Did you see the one that there's this girl that's like a really heavily tatted up, short-haired
She was
chick
like a Justin. It was,
that almost looks like a lesbian. Not that there's anything wrong with lesbians. Please don't freaking burn down my house. But did you see that?
Yeah, that's.
I was shocked that was that she was even in Playboy, because she had some definite cottage cheese going on in her
They have a completely
on her backside
different look. And
Yeah,
stuff
their
that they're
format.
going for.
Let's. I guess Hugh Hefner never heard if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Well, I don't think it's him because it's like his daughter and stuff that take
Conforming
over.
to society and
Right.
stuff like that. Which is fine. I mean, it's a sign of the times, so I guess, you know.
And he's 90, so he's like, okay, whatever.
Your opinion and my opinion doesn't matter anyway, because we're off the market and we're old and we're decrepit, and soon we're going to die, so who cares?
When I was involved with it,
yeah,
they were extremely picky about your weight. You had to be tan. You got extensions. You got veneers. You had to be, I mean, you don't have to be blonde, but they preferred that Barbie doll look. Whatever you were, you had to look like a Barbie doll, and they didn't like French tip nails and stuff like that. I mean, they were so picky. So to see somebody that's tatted up that has a Justin Bieber haircut.
So they basically were the epitome of everything everybody's taught to hate nowadays.
Right.
Yeah.
Like everything that Playboy asked for and looked for would be considered like sexualizing now.
Right.
And so they're going against that. They're going against...
Well, not only that, but girls with blonde hair and blue eyes are typically white girls and blah, blah, blah. And then they've always been coveted and turned into princesses, and now we've got to demean them because they've had the upper hand for so long, kind of thing. Yeah. It's the same thing as white males, trust me. Me even saying this, oh my God.
Yeah,
I probably lost 17 friends just now.
Right.
And, I'm okay with it because I'm going to speak my mind. I mean, that's the whole thing wrong with the world right now. It is America, and I'm allowed to say what I feel. So.
But, I mean, people don't realize that it is very kind of communist. Like, there's no free speech. You're not allowed to just get up and speak freely. I mean, you're not actually arrested, and you're not actually...
No, but you're freaking PC bullied to death.
But yes, you are.
You will
ostracized.
Go to PC jail.
You are ostracized. Yeah. You are rejected from social media, and that's everything. I mean, if you're not on social media and you don't have social media, it's like being bullied into a corner on the playground.
This is how powerful it is. The PC bullying thing is so powerful that it took a 63-year empire.
Yes.
That it was very lucrative and changed the format into a non-nude magazine. That's how much power PC bullying has.
Yep.
Because I guarantee you Hef didn't wake up one day and go, you know what? I'm 90. No more nude chicks.
No.
No.
No, trust me.
No. So, yeah. So there's that. Let's see. We're trying to get Jackie on the show. But what we think we're going to do, since Jackie's schedule is not really, it's conflicting with our schedule. We're going to go down to Noreen's, where I'm working at anyway, and we're just going to do like a freaking in-house interview with her and show the bar a little. And I want to do it that way anyway, because I want to get people, I want to do more on-site stuff like that, where we play a clip from things that we shoot. So we're going to start doing that. So, that brings me to this point. So if you want us to come down to your establishment and you want to be involved in our show and get in on these discussions and get your bar scene, or you get your karaoke show read, wink, wink, if you want to publicize little projects that you're doing, or karaoke nights and things of that nature, then we encourage you to let us know, because we'll bring you on the show and or come to your establishment and do an interview with you and play the clip on our show. It's of no cost to you, so I don't see because this is an informative channel, and we're expecting to get most of our money through donations and people that are kind of like a PBS kind of thing. We're like a local Vegas public service announcement that needs donations.
Yeah.
Yes. What?
Oh, and I'm wearing my Nightmare Before Christmas onesie again, so if anybody wants to donate to my onesie.
What do you mean donate to your onesie?
I'm just kidding. I'm just saying
you want them to pay for something you're already wearing?
No. I'm saying like donate to my onesie.
A onesie fund.
My onesie fund, yeah.
So you want to just get like an archive of onesies.
Of onesies.
That are paid for by other people.
Yeah.
That's a great plan.
I would pay for it myself if I had money.
No, I know. I understand. I'm not saying that you can't, you have to ask if you want things, because if you don't ask, then people won't know. It just sounded, the way that you said it, it sounded like you were saying, I'm wearing my Nightmare Before Christmas onesie, so please donate.
No, I know. I realized after I said
miraculous! Look what she's doing.
That didn't come out
I will
the
donate
way I
everything.
It to.
Yeah. What did Roxanne say? What's this big long thing that Roxanne said?
She's so slow on text, I can't stick on the subject. You are correct about the whole social network thing. I'm having trouble getting employed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awful.
I don't want to talk too much about numbers, but doing the same job that I was doing, Roxanne, when I worked at Norma Jeans for you. I've got so many bar names stored in this head of mine because I almost said Noreen's because Norma Jeans and Noreen's sound very similar. But at the time, I mean, you know what I got paid. I got paid a percentage of the bar, which was actually at times was really good. I think there was a couple of times that handed me like $400 for the night. And I'll tell you right now, I don't make no $400 now. And before Norma Jeans and one place after Norma Jeans, I was making money hand over fist.
Yeah.
Like, I'm talking, yeah. And it was mainly through tips. Mm-hmm. And the bars that I worked for and the places that I worked for were taking good care of me, but it was mainly like percentage based, and it sounded really dangerous and really scary to do. But I made more money doing the percentage thing than I have going in, because like I'll tell you, over the course of the past 15 years, the pay has steadily, I mean, it's like it's almost nil now. It's like basically I'm doing this for fun.
Right.
To hang out with my friends.
It's because everything becomes too saturated.
It's too saturated in town, especially karaoke in Vegas. I mean, I'm surprised that karaoke has lasted this long. Mm-hmm. It's had an amazing ride. People still love karaoke. I'm kind of like Red about it. I'll take it or leave it. I do like to sing sometimes. I think if I wasn't doing it as a job here and there and for parties and for friends and stuff like that, I think that I would probably go out karaokeing probably 2 times a year. But as it stands, I have to go out there like once a week, at minimum once a month, and do it. So, but it's been an amazing ride. It has definitely lasted a long time.
Yeah, and then Roxanne said, because not only slow to get around online, but no one to contact.
That what now?
I think she's saying no one to.
I'm at a loss of what you're saying. Yeah, she made good money that back then too. Yeah, what is it that you're doing nowadays, Roxanne? Maybe we could have you on the show one day. What did Red just say?
He said people will always love it, but first he said tell me about it. Then he said people will always love it, but we're being replaced by jukeboxes and shit. Yeah,
it's pretty much the same thing with everything. I mean, look, that brings me to this point. Guess what's going to happen to Uber drivers, dude? I mean, it's happening as we speak. It's the same thing as like with automatic tellers at the frickin' Walmart and frickin' other grocery stores. You know, those machines are convenient for us, but what people don't realize is that they're taking away jobs. And now they're talking about having these automated frickin' Uber cars. Guess what's going to happen? Less drivers, less jobs. Frickin' horrible. And so the same thing is happening with karaoke. I think as a business owner with karaoke, I don't know necessarily about driving, but I would assume with driving too, is that a human being can do it better. And what I mean by that, mainly with karaoke, is that you need a guy that's a presence there, that's a host. And no machine is going to schmooze the crowd and talk to people and be like, holy crap, I haven't seen you in years. How you doing? And stuff like that, and actually have some kind of attitude. And if they ever designed a machine to do that, it would be so hilarious because it'd be like, oh my God, oh, I'm so happy that you are here, Red. It's been a long time. And you'd be like, oh, I'm so loved.
Yeah, it's not the same.
Yeah. So, but yeah, the human interaction, exactly, Red. Mm-hmm. That's the element that is missing in America.
Yeah.
People are sitting behind their webcams and their microphones. Oh shit! No, that's us. Okay, that applies to us, so I'm not going to use that.
Wow,
example.
That's creepy, right?
But yeah, people don't really interact anymore, and when they do, it's typically.
And I'm like the biggest introvert, so I'm one to talk.
Yeah, you're the worst one.
I think I could go like the rest of my life without saying anything.
Red and I are the type of people that actually jump on people's backs and stuff when we haven't seen them in a long time, and like freaking tap them on the back of the head, knock their hat off, and stuff like that, like we're in freaking elementary school. And that is the kind of human interaction that is missing in the world, I think.
Yep.
That's why people love me and Red, man. That's why we're so popular, dude.
He said, or dare I say, he said the human interaction, or dare I say our human nature.
Yeah. Yeah, human nature. We'll probably save that. I know you're trying to get me to sing Human Nature, dude, and I can't because it's copywritten. He's like, that wasn't even my intention, you stuck-up son of a bitch. Yeah, we'll probably talk about more stuff along the lines of that whenever we drag you in here, Red. It's funny, for those of you that don't know, Red has been a long time protege of mine for karaoke and stuff like that. And I have him in some music videos of mine. And like one of the last projects I worked on was literally like, dude, I need you to be in a video. And he's like, I'm there. So he gets over to the studio and we're like, we need you to get in the dumpster.
Yeah, I wasn't there for this filming, but it
and
sounded
guess what?
funny.
He got in the frickin' dumpster because
Yeah.
Red's cool like that. Yeah.
Roxanne was saying that she was having trouble because it's slow to get around online and there's no one-on-one contact because she's looking for work.
Oh, yeah. No, I hear you, and it's it's become very impersonable. And I think Roxanne, your strength would be to just cold walk into a place because
that's what you have to do if you really want
right,
a job
especially
now.
somebody like Roxanne because Roxanne is very charismatic and very wordy. She's a good conversationalist and she's good at talking to people.
Yeah.
Sometimes Roxanne has a mouth that goes 90 miles a minute. And, the thing about that, though, Roxanne, is that's what you need to do, is use your mouth and your words. Use your words.
Yeah, but it is because it's all online applications. Oh, go apply online,
Right.
online. And then you're just nothing but...
It's the same thing with anything. Here's the problem. We're not going to get into the infrastructure of education into it too far. Like I don't want to hit oil and drill too far, but I want to bring up on the surface. Just touch a little bit of the oil, kind of like Jed Clampett. Ooh, that's an old reference. Damn, I'm old. So anyway, so on the surface, I'm gonna frickin' touch on something, and that is that like all the numbers and the scholastic and stuff like that. It has changed people's opinions of who's hireable and who's not. People believe in their institutions so much that they don't believe that anybody could possibly be smart without having a degree in their hand. Mm-hmm. And it's ridiculous. And there was a thing that was floating around on Facebook where a guy was talking about, and he quoted Einstein, judging somebody's intelligence by their education level is like judging a freaking fish on its ability to climb a tree.
Yeah.
And so like that stands true. And what sickens me is that people have become so close-minded, and these numbers and these papers and these credentials mean more than seeing somebody face to face and seeing how intelligent they are. And I believe that's why we have homeless people out on the streets. I have talked to some freaking homeless people that were smarter than anybody I've ever met in my life.
And they don't want to be part of the system. They really don't want to be part of it.
And in a way, some of them did choose to be homeless, actually. They didn't want to be part of the system, but there were others that couldn't get a job because they didn't have a degree, because they didn't have those things. And they were still more intelligent, like you said. They'd talk about shit like tachyons and things that people don't talk about. And here's another thing that's funny. I was outside of I can't remember, some building, a governmental building, and I saw a homeless guy outside, and he was freaking having a conversation with himself, okay? Like going on, blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't make out what he was saying because there was a two-pane glass window between us, but you could tell he was completely talking to himself. Every time somebody else walked by, he stopped talking to that imaginary thing and like looked at them and was like, and then went back to doing it. And I was like, how do I know that there's not something actually there that guy's talking to that I can't see? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, call him insane if you want to.
Well, that's what I was saying about, we've gone ahead and labeled a whole bunch of different things as mental illnesses like schizophrenia, but who's to say that they're not seeing into other dimensions?
Right.
They're not actually seeing something that you can't see.
Right.
So
exactly,
and that just freaks people out because people like everything to be in a box.
Nice and comfy, cozy. I need to be able to pull my blankets over me without thinking the homeless guy is actually seeing aliens or something.
People can't stand to be uncomfortable, and you'll find this like it's pretty true with everything. People hate being uncomfortable, and it's only when you're uncomfortable that you grow and learn things and become a better person. You have to be uncomfortable to do that. And then Red said that on the flip side, his mom got. When I read this, Red, I just read, but on the flip side, when my mom got laid. I was like, whoa, okay. Don't know where that came from.
9 months later, I was born.
Okay. But on the flip side, when my mom got laid off, most jobs said she was overqualified because of her degree.
Yeah, and what the hell is that? That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And why? And with all the PC shit that's happening in the world, like you could not discriminate on somebody with brown eyes, because I could probably put you in some kind of PC jail for being some blue-eyed girl talking crap about my brown eyes. In this day and age, how are we letting people be able to turn people away from a job because they're too smart? Isn't that some form of discrimination?
Yeah. It's all a form of, I mean, even affirmative action is a type of discrimination. You're hiring somebody based on something, based on physical trait, not the ability to do the job.
Right.
So,
which is exactly why there are heavier girls in Playboy now.
Yeah. There really are, and
so it doesn't apply to the supermarket or what? Like I can't go down and get a freaking bagging job because I need to pay my bills because I have a Harvard degree, which I don't. But you know what my point is. I have no degree, which is awesome. I like it that way because I don't want to walk around judging people for the same reason that I don't really want to be rich. I want to be able to afford things. Don't get me wrong. But I don't want to be in a position where I look down on people. Yeah. I'm glad that I don't have a degree, actually. And I've been put down a lot by family members and peers for not having a degree of any shape or form. But yet, when people meet me on first blush, they're like, dude, you're, one of the top 5 smartest people that I know, kind of thing. Yeah. I'm friends with people like Eric Maldonado, and that freaking sharp as a tack, and so it is a compliment.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. So.
Know a lot of very smart people, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Even Red, who's stupid and shit and half
black,
half lame and half black. He's no, but Red's actually really intuitive, which is why I've always been Red's friend, because I recognize that he wasn't just your basic barroom drunk. He had things to say, and he actually, in his own way, observes things on the same level. And
yeah, he said his mom got turned down because she was either too old, which is ageism,
right,
at retirement age, or too overqualified.
Yeah, that sounds like bullshit to me. Like,
and he says he's 3/4 black.
3/4 black. Okay, I wasn't sure what the amount was, but ladies and gentlemen, we have run out of time. Hey, did anybody and put this in the comments after we're gone? Did anybody that ever watched our show realize that annoying ass voice in the beginning is me? You think they do or no?
Yeah, I think they do. Well,
you think they do?
I don't know, because
there was a couple of people that I played it for that was like, "Who did this?" And I was like, "It was me, idiot. It was me."
Yeah, I don't know, because I still think you should do voiceovers.
It's just the basic douchey radio voice that makes people feel comfortable. Like there's certain protocols that you do have to meet in order to people feel comfortable. Mm-hmm. See, I've always been the thought process that the most original shit that you could come up with is going to be the best stuff because you've out-thought somebody else. Mm-hmm. But it's not the case when it comes to masses and people and things. People want things that are familiar and comfortable, and it took me a really, really long time to discover that. So if anybody's out there writing music and you're writing something that's so ingenious that only you understand it, you need to tone down, save that song for yourself, and write something that's like, hey, yeah, 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 and just simple and fun. So, yeah, just little lessons, little life lessons. And we like feeding off of what you guys are saying, too. Want to bring some of you down into the studio. Roxanne, we'll probably have you in here whenever your schedule is and free. And Red, we're definitely going to have you down here. And let's see. Jeremy Flores, that's who we're going to have in here as our next guest, I'm pretty sure. And that's next Friday. Yeah, Friday. Okay. So, is there anything else you want to say before we get out of here? Because we're actually like 4 minutes over our time.
I was just going to mention that I think my my family might watch this show, and I kind of hope they do. They've had to deal with a lot from me with the whole like memory thing, and I've had a lot of battles, and I just, I love them, so I want them to know that, and I miss them.
Yeah. Absolutely. And it's not like she just forgot about you and just went on with her life. She has just been through some things.
So,
yeah.
I had to say that. I hope that my family, which is mainly my dad, sees this.
Now, I don't know necessarily if he would, but yeah, that would be nice.
But I think I have a cousin on Facebook, and I have an aunt and stuff like that, and on my dad's side.
There's something I actually would want to say to your dad if he was watching the show right now. And that is that he, no matter what his opinion of me might be, he has to see and understand that no matter what, I protect you and I take care of you and I love you to death.
I am sitting here because of you.
Yeah.
You know.
I will never let anything happen to this girl. And you can find comfort in that. And that even goes as far as to you and anybody else that might want to harm this girl. It's not going to happen. And I'm not saying that like to try to be threatening or like I'm some big badass, but I love you to death and I will never let anything happen to you. If it was Pompeii again, we would be the couple that's entangled after the ashes are gone, petrified that way. Absolutely, because we sleep that way. I love you to death.
I love you to death.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry about that, everybody. We just had to get that out there because of some underlying issues.
And he wasn't saying that he thinks my dad is going to harm me.
No.
He was saying that he will protect me even from my dad. He will protect me from anybody that wants.
Right, anybody.
God,
anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody.
So,
yeah.
My dad's an amazing man, and I love him very much.
Yeah.
And my husband is an amazing man, and he's the love of my life.
I try. All right, listen. We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting the show. And like I said, if you can't donate anything, just at least help us get the word out that we're trying to get funds for the show.
I was kidding about the onesie thing. I'm just.
Oh no, it would be cool if people bought you onesies and sent them to us. We're gonna put out one of those Amazon wish lists. That would be cool. So you can throw some onesies on there. And, there are people that get joy out of buying gifts for people and watching. You could just unveil them online, like during our show, open up the box.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to do that. I'd show everybody, oh, hey, this is my new
I'm always the thinker, man. I'm always the one thinking of crap like that. That's how you make stuff interesting. So, anyway, we love you guys. And like I said, we're going to bring most of you on the show, most of you that watch the show and have access to Las Vegas. Whenever you're in town, we'll have you on the show because we just want to talk to regular people and just talk about regular things that people talk about because that's what makes the world go around, man. Interaction, like Red said, we need to have more human interaction in this digital world. All right, we love you guys. Take care. Have a good Friday.
Love you. Have a great, safe night. Like, comment, share. Thank you. Love you all.
Hey, we're not actually signing off the air, even though you heard our sign-off music. Red, who lives in the area, came and banged on the door. and gave us money to open the door. He's like, I need to be on your show, and you're going to...
I have grievances to air.
Right. So, let me put a camera on you. Wow, that's horrible. Red, you want to adjust that camera?
Where's this one? What am I doing?
Just point it at yourself. Like, grab the actual camera itself. Like the
I don't
camera.
know how to do things.
Jesus, man.
Is that better? Oh, God, that's fucking scary. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So,
Warn me about any of this.
now your mic is live. You've got
God,
headphones.
That's even worse. Now they can hear me and see me. You literally just went from like 17 views to 2.
That's okay. That's okay. And this isn't going to be a long thing because we do want to keep these around an hour, but we just wanted to show how open we are to having people over and
randomly stop in and
right. Where'd you come from?
Home.
Home.
Yeah, I was being a loner and
Okay.
stuffing my face with Ben and Jerry's and crying over the newest episode of The Bachelor. So
What's going on The Bachelor these days?
No clue. I don't watch that shit.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, I haven't watched mainstream TV in probably since you were a fetus.
Yeah, we
you
don't.
probably were like 30 back then.
I was like 30, something like that. But yeah, this is Red, everybody. So hey, Red, why don't we do this since you came all the way over here?
God.
Why don't you plug your
I am not
karaoke
getting
show
naked
and
again.
things?
Oh.
Why don't you plug your karaoke show and things that you want to plug?
So yeah, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday nights over at East String Bar and Grill off of, like he said earlier, Sunset and Sunset, which makes no sense, but if you know the place and you know the area, it does kind of make sense. But Sunday nights we start at 11 because from 9 to 11 we have open mic comedy hosted by Devin Sheffield. And congrats to him. He finally kicked the sauce. Took him a while, but we're all proud of him for that. But so it goes from 11 to 3 on Sundays, and then Mondays and Tuesdays is 9 to 3. And we actually have karaoke 7 nights a week. And the other hosts are amazing, if not better than I am. So great bartenders, amazing food. Like, I literally made my cheat day on Mondays so that I could be a fatty and order our food while I'm working.
Nice.
Hell, I've gotten fat.
I wonder if E-Strings would let us come down there and film the establishment and put it on the show. You think you could talk to somebody to make that happen? That'd be cool.
I got connections. I know people.
We want to do more stuff like that because sitting here watching me and my wife on camera is only fun for so long before it gets stale, you know what I mean? And this is our 10th episode.
7 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, this is our 10th episode, though, and so I'm thinking like every 10 episodes we should do some kind of, not necessarily drastic, but some kind of slight upgrade.
Like something different, just
Yeah.
to change it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
because otherwise it's going to get really boring. Like,
Yeah.
you do have to keep things familiar because people like familiarity.
Right. You can't keep changing things
You know,
too much.
yeah. I mean, if we came over to freaking E-Strings to see you hosting karaoke, and all of a sudden now you're a waiter there, and you're
Right,
wearing a tie,
right.
and you have no beard, and your hair's black,
Right.
we're gonna be like, "What the frick is going on here? I don't even want to be here anymore." Your name's not even Red. Why is it Red?
I can't remember the last time I wore a tie.
The last time you wore a tie?
Actually, no, that's a lie. I wore a tie last Thursday.
Oh, did you really? To E-Strings?
No, fuck no.
No, where to?
I'm usually lucky if I wear jeans to Easter. It's usually basketball shorts or
Okay,
nothing.
okay. You've been involved with some kind of wrestling thing.
Yeah, I'm not involved in the wrestling, but I love going to the local wrestling shows that they have out here, and they've got a couple of really great wrestling companies out here. Actually, tomorrow, Saturday, it's called BVW, Big Valley Wrestling, over at the Sahara Event Center, which used to be the roller hockey rink.
Okay.
They're doing a show, and then right after that, or actually kind of at the same time, over off of Harrison and Patrick is FSW, which is Future Stars of Wrestling, and they're having their show. And then March 12th at Samstown, Future Stars of Wrestling is having one of the most stacked lineups. I don't know, you never really.
I'm not
but
big
you know
on
who
wrestling,
Matt
no.
Hardy is?
I've heard the name, yeah.
Matt Hardy, who's a big name now again, he's reinvented himself in his character. He's going to be there, and a lot of other great wrestlers from literally around the world. People out in Mexico,
Nice.
people that have wrestled in Japan, and a lot of good up-and-coming people. So it's definitely worth checking any of those out. And
Okay, cool.
just, I like to support all the local.
Yeah, man, that's
not
what this whole
necessarily-
show's about,
Not
dude.
necessarily, hey, let's go to, even though I am going to see the Backstreet Boys on Wednesday.
Are you?
know,
Nice.
of course,
Okay, right
of
on.
course.
Right on.
But
No
just
hate.
to support local stuff, and people don't do that. Like, I know you of all people know, like, they'll spend $200 on a ticket to see Beyonce, but your friends
Won't come
doing
to see you for
something
$10. Yeah.
down the road
Yeah.
from you.
It's
and
the
they're
worst,
like,
man.
Ah, see what happened was
Right.
You know,
And I always had a problem with, like, and you were one that actually did frickin' buy our songs. Our songs are $1,
Right,
dude.
right.
Like, seriously, you'll come to my freaking face and hand me freaking $40 when I'm at a bar just because we're drinking
Right.
together. But your own alone home time is like, it's almost like they do it as a slap, like to show you that they disapprove
Right.
of what you're doing.
Because they're happy that you're doing what they wish they could be doing.
Right.
They're pushing carts at Walmart, and
Right.
here you're pursuing what you actually enjoy doing, and they
Yeah.
don't like that because they're butthurt.
Right, and it's crazy, dude. Because wouldn't people be of the mindset that if you were successful, that your friends would be successful along with you?
Right.
Like, you know, if I ever blew up, I'm not gonna be like Red Who. You know what I mean? Like,
And see, I'm not the kind of person where I'll ask for money, but I'll be like, don't forgive me. Just still
Right.
hit me up and hang out.
Right.
I don't need, oh, hey, we used to hang out at Double Shots. Here's $2,000. Like, I'm not
Right.
about that. You
right?
know?
But
I
hey,
got-
man, the tour bus is leaving. Do you want to come
Right,
to freaking
right.
Salt Lake City and do
Turn
this
up,
dumb
you
shit?
know?
Yeah.
That's all it is. Don't forget where you came from, and
Exactly.
don't hate on people that are trying to get away from where they came from.
Exactly. And that's mainly the reason that Jess and I started the show. Spit the Wit was just something cool and funny, and it rhymed and everything. We were like, that's catchy. Let's just use it, because we didn't really have an idea of what we were actually going to do. But the main reason we started the show is because we wanted to, like, open up that freaking love, man,
Right.
where people are, like, praising each other
Support each other,
instead
yeah.
of talking shit behind.
It's-
I know some people that leave here are going to go talk shit, behind our backs.
Right.
But at least for that moment,
Right.
we're on the same page. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have to cry, Red. It's
It's so touching. Well, no, I'm actually wearing a wrestler shirt right now, and I don't. It's a indie wrestler, but I don't know if it's with the whole like.
Oh, with the copyright
Yeah,
shit.
I don't think it's copyrighted, but I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah, I think
So.
I think probably what you're wearing is okay. It looks like local stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Let's check it out. Let's check it
Actually, I fucking love this shirt. I had to get it because it's like the best thing ever. Big effing deal.
Big effing deal,
The
okay.
deal is very, very little, so it emphasizes
out. Nice.
the
Okay.
deal.
Nice.
But-
Okay. Hell yeah, man.
But yeah, there's way too many people that'll be like, "Oh my God, I love you, I love you, I love you," and then won't show that. They'll just, as soon as they leave the bar, or as soon as you don't have any more money to
Right.
buy them alcohol,
Right.
they don't want anything
Yeah.
to do with it.
I'm afraid to tell you this, dude, but that mentality came because a lot of people from Vegas migrated from California,
Oh, yeah.
and that's why I left Cali, because of that shit. Now, don't get me wrong, I have really freaking loyal friends in California, but only a handful.
But how many are from Cali?
Right, that too, but yeah,
Because the few people I know that are in Cali, like shout out Diaz Mackey,
Yeah.
and his comedy grind, they've migrated to Cali to try to, like you're doing, try to pursue what they want to do
Right.
and get away from the rut that they've built up where they're from. And
yeah.
it's-
I have people that I've known from California that have lived there since they were little kids, and they were born and raised in the area that I grew up in, and they're probably going, what's he talking about, kind of thing, because that's all they know.
That's all- you're
They
right.
still are there. Some people are
Right.
still freaking there, dude. And what I proposed to them is that when I first came to Vegas in '97 to, like, stay for a minute just to check it out
Right.
and see what it was like here. Man, dude, you would not even recognize it. People at grocery stores, people in line at the gas station, people just talk to each other like a small town. It was like, hey, how you doing today? And I was, like, taken aback by it. I was like, what the hell does this motherfucker
Right.
want? You know what I mean? And so it was really cool like that. And people were still, like, of the type that when you were young enough and you were out looking like you were partying and stuff, where it was like 50s car hop shit. People would get out of their cars and jump into other people's
Right.
cars and go to
that they've
parties and
just
things.
met and
Yeah,
not
it was
have
so
any
different,
second
man.
guesses or second thoughts about
And
it.
it wasn't until the last, like, probably 10 years that Vegas has just completely turned around into some unrecognizable thing. Yeah.
See, and I was raised by the baby boomer back east people, and so, like, I can't tell you how many times I'll walk around my apartment complex and see some little old lady lugging crap ton of groceries up her stairs and be like, "Do you need help?" And she looks at me like I'm about to
Right.
beat her with a tire iron, and I'm like,
You
That's
do
the-
look like the tire
I mean-
iron beating type, though.
I would prefer the tire thumper, but
Right.
whatever I have ready and available.
Right, exactly. Okay, so Red, we're gonna have you come back and be on an actual full episode.
definitely.
He was in the neighborhood. He dropped by. We just wanted to let you know that that's what kind of thing we're running here. It is completely open to the world, and this was not a planned thing at all. So
I
now we
just have
can
no life, so.
let Red capitalize on this by coming in and promoting stuff and showing us a little bit about what he does and, you know, talking more about in detail about things. So thank you so much for coming. And for the rest of you, we got to get out of here. So thank you for tuning in.
It's pizza night.
It's
so,
pizza night.
Vegan pizza for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So
You got
we
my
love you
hopes up.
guys. What's that?
So you got my hopes up and then the vegan just like...
Right. All right. We love you guys. Take care and have a good Friday night. Take care.